But my friends, it is a tragedy. It is a real tragedy that millions who occupy places in our churches today have made a confession of faith without ever having a heart belief. I know from personal experience, and perhaps you do too, of seeing people urged to say the sinner's prayer. Just get them to say the words. You know, that was a big push in the church for decades. Just get them to say the words. And many have said it. Many have said the words. Been given a false sense of security. They've said the words, but their lives haven't changed. Mickey and I have relatives in that condition. Some of you do as well. You see, in the zeal to save people, a lot of churches have sold a very cheap gospel. Speaking of cheap grace, Dietrich Bonhoeffer said this: cheap grace is grace without discipleship. That's a powerful statement. It is grace without discipleship. In other words, it is believing that you can receive grace without having any change in your life. You can't. He says it's grace without a personal cross. In other words, you can be saved without having any kinds of self-denial in your life. You can have it all, this world and Christ too. That's cheap grace. He says it's grace. Cheap grace is grace without an ongoing relationship with Jesus Christ. A lot of people have said those words, said the sinner's prayer, never darken the door of a church again. They think they're on their way to heaven. They're not. They've been sold a cheap bill of goods by well-intentioned but desperately wrong churches. William Hendrickson put it this way: there must be, first of all, faith in the heart. Without such faith, a confession is a mockery. But when faith is in the heart, confession is not only required, but it is altogether natural and consistent with the new nature. Simply put, what Hendrickson is saying is this: Christians love to speak about Jesus. Christians love to talk about the Lord. That's why people get so fed up with them. That's why your relatives can't stand you, and why they've stopped inviting you to come to family reunions. Because when you get there, you do not talk about the Bruins. You don't talk about this, that, and the other. You want to talk about Jesus, and you want to tell somebody about Jesus, and they can't stand it.